I want to sit here and talk about this whole Godzilla and King Kong film series, this whole cinematic universe for Godzilla and King Kong film series. I'm totally ecstatic about it. As a kid, I used to love watching the one movie. It was Godzilla versus King Kong, and as ridiculous as it looks now, it's still that it still brings out that childhood in me that used to love watching it. And I grew up with both Godzilla and King Kong, the movies and everything, the series that came out with them and everything. Not the later ones, but like the old original ones and stuff. Um, I am interested. I'm highly interested in anticipating this and how they can flesh this out. And it does seem like ever since Marvel came out with this cinematic universe, all of these great franchises are starting to pick up on it. DC, the whole monster one with Dracula, the Wolfman, and Invisible Man. Now we got Godzilla and King Kong. And Godzilla and King Kong has been a long time coming. I'm highly ecstatic about it. Now, as far as the movie that's coming out now, I would love to see them introduce as well as reintroduce some of the monsters. And this is what I read up on it. Legendary plans to create a shared cinematic franchise centered around Monarch, and that brings together Godzilla and Legendary's King Kong in an ecosystem of other giant super species, both classic and new. I like that idea, and I would love for them to establish a grand story as to the origins of these characters. One thing I hated about the original Godzilla, even when I was younger, where the hell was all these monsters coming from? It seemed like everyone had a new origin story that didn't coincide with the other creatures some kind of way. You got Space Godzilla, but out of all of the other monsters that he had to fight, that was the only one that came from outer space. They got one from this freaking island, but there was like none of the other ones came from the island. One was like I don't know, just some over the top stuff. That's the one thing I didn't like about that. And this hopefully does a great job, a better job of explaining and establishing a great origin story that's connective. And that's why I like the whole ecosystem of other giant super species. One thing I liked about the Godzilla movie that came out in 2014 was the fact that the Muto creatures, as well as Godzilla, shared the same origins. They were giant creatures from that were, dormant or whatever, from long before humanity was even thought of. And I like that. That makes sense. So, as far as the whole Godzilla versus King Kong, I'm all for it. And Godzilla has another movie scheduled for 2019, I believe. I would like to see like the Muto was, and I would like to do like an interchangeable thing with new and old. And I would like to see that. And some of the more ridiculous things I don't like was Mothra. I don't want to see that. The little girls, hell no. Get their little tiny asses out of here. I don't want to watch that crap. I want to see some King Ghidorah. What was the three-headed one? It probably was a three-headed one. I don't know. I want to see the little space Godzilla, but not actually from space. Make it like a species, like a subspecies of Godzilla or something like that. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I can't remember all these freaking monsters' names and stuff. What was the turtle one? I can't remember. It's two of them actually. There was one that was like shooting fire out his legs and could fly, which was stupid as shit. As well as the other one that had like the horns and stuff on it. You know what I'm saying? Give us some monsters. And this new one, bring back an original monster. Like I wouldn't mind that. They did have a good idea when they was going to say, well, okay, well the creatures was going to be a part of like Pacific Rim, which actually made fucking sense. Because you had these giant monsters being engineered by aliens, and I could have bought that. I could have bought that. That made absolute sense to me. And if they would have done it as an origin or a crossover, I could have been all for it. Like hands down, I would have been all for it. And it would have made sense to have a continuous strand, a continuous franchise, because they could just create all these different monsters. You know what I'm saying? That can keep attacking. So that would have made sense. And I kind of hope they would pick up on that, and I hope they do cross over in later installments. Like I would like to see aliens just send send some giant monster take over Earth, and Godzilla kicks his ass after a long and drawn out fight. But I don't mind that. That made sense to me, and I am all for. And guys, I got the glasses and everything with this because it's like blinding me, but I'm all for it. I think it's a great idea. Keep coming with the Godzilla versus King Kong and make it a grand series. And I also want to know this too. That I do want to throw out there. Are you more interested in the whole aspect of the kaiju monsters or the stories that are surround the major plot of the kaiju monsters? Because me, honestly, I never really gave a shit about any of the stories, the characters, the subplots. I didn't care about none of that crap. It was all about kaiju action, destruction, explosions, and cheap ass costumes. You know, but when it came to the Godzilla 2014, like I actually said, I actually cared about the characters and I did like the story. It all made sense. I liked the characters, how everything presented itself. I was actually interested just as much as I was in the Godzilla aspects. I was just as interested in the character aspect and what they had to do, as well as the kaiju aspect. So that's another thing. And also, I would love for them to have a good reason as to why these two creatures are fighting now and not have fought before. Like they gotta make this crisp. At this point, I would not worry about Kong having an origin story because we can go with, hey, this island was populated with giant apes and the motherfuckers died out. He's like the last one. But you know, as far as the whole Godzilla King Kong film series, I am all for it. There are just so many ways they could bring out, and flush out this franchise. There's so many ways they could take it. And like I said, the one thing that does interest me is the fact that they're going to make this an ecosystem of giant super species, meaning that these creatures already exist, you know. So like there's a system of these creatures already existing. So I like that. It makes sense. But anyway, guys, in the comment section below, let me know what you think about the whole Godzilla King Kong franchise, where it's gonna go, and possibly should they team up with something? Because both of them seem intelligent, and I would like that. I would like to see those two team up and possibly fight maybe a giant three-headed dragon that shoots out lightning slash laser slash flame things, you know. But hey, fingers crossed. And hopefully, do you think that they should probably tie this in with Pacific Rim? Like, I could actually see a space Godzilla coming from Pacific Rim origins. So, anyways, guys, comments below. You know what to do. Let me know what your thoughts is. And it's about that time. I gave you my thoughts. Leave me your thoughts. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Narik Chase, signing out.